I know, I'm sorry for messing with you.
It's all good, go for it.
Hi there, I'm Bo Lorentzen, the FPV guy, and today I'm again back at uav-rc.com with Tony, the owner, and Tony is bringing us some coolness here, so let's check it out.
Alright guys, check this out. Here we have the Shredder 330mm quadcopter FPV frame, and let's give you guys a quick look at that. So what we have here set up is your most popular FPV racing flight controller. It's an ACE32. We have it hooked up to your most popular and favorite Fat Shark FPV gear, video camera and transmitter, and it has a pretty powerful setup. It's got some 20 amp ESCs in there with some Cobra 2208s, 2000 kV motors.
Wow.
It's a very powerful machine. Normally we like to fly it on a 2200 4-cell 30C or above rated battery.
2200 4C
yeah,
or 4S?
Yeah.
Wow. What's up with the arms?
The arms, these are 6mm arms, so they are gonna survive in a pretty strong crash.
Holy shit, these things are thick.
It'll carry your GoPro, it'll carry your Mobius, up to 2 GoPros if you wanted to, one looking forward, one looking back. The biggest battery we've put on this one so far is a 4-cell 5200 milliamp. And it flies like a champ.
And I noticed there's room here. You already have the GoPro is tilted backwards.
Yeah.
And the flight camera down here can be adjusted to tilt backwards so you can see when you get some serious speed going.
Exactly, yeah.
Kind of like Brad would be doing, except he probably would manage to break this.
Brad will break it, no problem.
So Tony, this is available how?
This is available in 2 different configurations. You can either just buy the frame for $169 on our website, or you can buy the ARF kit, which is $450 roughly. It comes with ESCs and motors and a set of propellers. You get to choose the flight controller, battery, etc. It does come with a pretty neat power distribution board with LED lights built in.
If you get the ARF kit, do you throw a receiver on here so it's BNF, or do I throw my own receiver?
You throw your own receiver in there, yeah.
Does it need PPM, or can I use
You can use either PWM or PPM. It's up to you. D-Bus. Any receiver will work on there.
Sweet. I see lights everywhere here. We got LEDs on the front, LEDs on the rear. This thing is going to be lit up at night.
Yes. Let's power it up so you guys can see.
All right. We're going to do that with propellers on?
So, yeah, it's not a problem.
There we go. Look at this.
Feature.
We have blue up front, and we've got red in the rear. What if I want blue in the rear?
You have the option for that. The power distribution is offered in both configurations.
Okay, so I can't switch
so
it.
You have
to make a choice.
You have to make a choice, or unless you want to unsolder the LEDs yourself, which could be a pain.
Guys like me want to be able to change these things. So basically, how much is the kit?
The kit itself, the frame with the power distribution LEDs, is $169.
$169 for the kit.
Yeah.
With motors?
No motors. No, that's just the frame. That's just a frame.
The frame and the power distribution. So a kit with all the parts.
With all the parts, you get the ARF, which is motors, speed controllers, propellers, pre-assembled.
Pre-assembled?
Pre-assembled for $449.
So going up about $200 basically. And that includes then my ESCs and motors.
Motors, propellers.
It's hardly worth building this myself if I can have it ready to...
You can have it ready to go, yeah.
That's nice. And I like how easy it is to get in here. It's very easy to get the battery in. Yeah. This is really awesome. Wow. Well, let's put this thing down and disarm it before I get hurt.
All right.
All right. So the other thing we have with us today is we just got in the Phantom 3s here, and I'm gonna move. This is also, we're gonna compare it to the Inspire, but the Phantom 3 is really the new, it's gonna be the main aerial photography consumer quad for the next year for sure.
Yes.
And I know while we've been standing here this morning, these things are hot.
These things are hot. They're really flying off the shelves this morning, and if you haven't gotten one, place your order today. It'll ship out on Monday morning.
And when I'm saying hot, what I mean is Tony started the day with a pile of these things, and right now we have one, and I'm pretty sure there's a guy coming to pick it up shortly, so we only have so much time to unbox this.
All right, let's
get to
open it up.
Now, what have they changed? What is new in this thing? How does this open?
Well, this thing, let's see.
Oh, here we go, down here.
There it is. All right.
So what's new here?
On this one, they did a lot of changes. So for one, you know, not only is the smart battery a little different, still a smart battery.
Okay, the first thing we get on top here is the warning, read and understand. So here's the manual and it says do read it. I'm gonna leave it right here because I know somebody's gonna come pick it up. Yes. So I don't want to shred all of this because then Tony have to explain how this brand new thing got all shredded.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna hand that to you.
All right, let's move this aside.
And as we get into the box here, what we see is, oh, Tony, you rock. Let's start pulling things out. Here is the new remote. And let's put the box down for a second while we talk about it. It has your smartphone clip on top here. And it will work with a smaller tablet. You have to push here.
Yeah, we have to take this out first.
Oh, do you want to leave it on there?
No, we can remove it, no problem. There we go.
There, so stick that on here and push down. So now we're basically ready to fly. Of course, one of the things to remember with the Phantom 3 is you really need a smartphone or a tablet because without that, you don't have a fully system. So you need to consider the cost of that if you don't already have a smartphone.
Exactly.
I mean, you could set it up, I guess, to fly, but you really need this to get the advantages of this system. On the back of it, and I'm not going to take all this plastic off, what I am going to do is grab my Inspire radio right here. Because one of the things you see if you look on the back here is you have the USB out, where on the Inspire you have HDMI and USB out. The difference is I use my HD goggles to fly FPV using the Inspire. You cannot do that immediately. I'm sure somebody will come up with a hack, but you cannot immediately do that with this radio. However, Tony was telling me it is possible if you get your hands on a used or a cheap, and I'm sure once there's a flyaway from the Inspire, there will be some cheap radios out there. If you get your hands on an Inspire radio, that will bind with the P3. And so you can actually then get your HDMI out.
Exactly.
And it is a little bit different. I mean, now when I'm looking at them here at NAB, I did not see them side by side.
Oh, yeah.
This has an aluminum bracket. The Phantom's got a plastic bracket.
Yeah, definitely the one for the Inspire is on the higher end.
It's aluminum clad and what. So yeah. you can tell. Let's take a look.
This guy out.
And here is...
Smell it.
That new drone smell. It's nothing like it. Okay, so here is the main thing, and I don't know how we... Oh, this pops out sideways.
You can just slide it out, yeah. It's just a transport holder.
So there is a transport holder right here that you want to hold on to, because when you travel, you want to lock this gimbal carefully. It's really important because these gimbals are so sensitive. They have got really fine needle bearings, and if any one of those parts don't run smoothly, the gimbal is not going to work the way you want it to. This is basically the third. What do you got there?
You get a little nice sack here with your propellers.
A propeller sack?
Propeller sack.
I didn't get that with the Inspire. Seriously, DJI.
Now you get a nice one.
That's cool.
And it's got the DJI
logo
on there.
Now, and of course, the propellers for the Phantom now is twist on and lock.
They are, yes.
So all you have to do is they only fit on one place. If the propeller fits on the motor, twist it on, lock it down a bit solid, and you're good to go. And one thing you really should consider is get a Dupro balancer.
Yes,
you have those things.
Yeah, we have them in stock, and that really helps, you know, to check the balancing of the blades.
What I do is I wrap a little bit of tape on the end of the Dupro balancer stick, and that way and just enough that the prop fits snugly on there, and make sure you balance them, because a lot of people don't understand and they think a firmware upgrade can get rid of jello.
It does not.
There's no such thing.
There's no such thing. Yeah.
That's hearsay.
Yeah.
You did not hear it from us, that's for sure. But balance the props religiously. Make sure they balance first, like the teeter.
Yeah.
Is that teeter-totter?
Teeter-totter, yeah.
And then you stand them on end, upright, and they need to balance that way as well. When they balance perfect that way, you're not going to have jello problems.
Exactly.
Now, when we look at this, and I'm going to let you hold this because I'm going to break out the Inspire camera.
We're going to break out this battery. Before we do that, just to show you guys that it is not the same as your standard Phantom 2 battery. This happens to be a higher voltage.
15.2 volts.
15.2, and it is a 4480 milliamp.
How much flight time do we get on this?
They're expecting about 23, 24 minutes of flight.
So 15?
I would probably say, yeah, 18 minutes.
18?
Yeah, we should go do a hover test after this.
Well, but a hover test really only tells you what it flies when you're hovering.
Yeah, when you're hovering.
Once you stick this forward like crazy, you're going to burn battery.
Yeah, it just depends how aggressive you really do fly it and how far out you're traveling. Also, another thing to consider is wind conditions.
Yes, and when you fly out, make it a habit of flying into the wind, because if you fly downwind and you have half a battery and you're turning around, the wind may not get you all the way back home.
Yeah, so here we're doing a quick mini drone dance.
Now,
that's to calibrate your so-called drone.
Except you haven't not yet powered it.
We haven't powered it, no.
So you're just doing a happy drone dance?
Just a happy drone dance, yes. You know, when you buy a Phantom 3, you have to do a happy dance.
Well, you have to with the Inspire too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's really, you can't really get around having to do that because the system needs to know.
Oh, yeah.
But let's take a look at the camera there again real quick.
All right.
I'm going to take the ND filter off this. Are you getting the Polar Pro filters in?
Hopefully soon, yes.
Because the Polar Pro is releasing a series of filters both for the Phantom and for the Inspire. Those filters gives you ND, so if it's a really bright day you can put an ND filter on, reduce the shutter speed, and with the lower shutter speed, when you pan, it blurs the pan just a little bit because it's a slow shutter speed, and that means you get sharper pictures it doesn't like jitter. Instead, because it blurs a little bit, you get a smooth move through there. And as we said, Tony's getting those in. So go to his website, uav-rc.com, and click on that. And as soon as you have them, they're going to be up on the front page of that website. Mm-hmm. Now, right here, there is some differences on camera-wise here. The Inspire camera has a huge air intake and it has a big fan in the back. So I am going to guess that this is probably not the same sensor. But this is really revolutionizing the market, isn't it?
It is. It's definitely taking over. I know there's a couple other companies that are coming in with other drones that have not actually released to the public. So we will see here shortly.
Well, but also I know a couple of guys that was making a living making gimbals.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, because last year there was a market for $1,500 gimbals for 4K camera systems. And with the Inspire and the Phantom and the Unique all coming out with 4K systems, that the entire system is costing less than a gimbal for a 4K system did last year.
Exactly.
I mean, really,
yeah,
these guys are looking for something else to do.
Yeah, DJI is really killing the market, and now they came out with their Mini Ronin,
which is sweet.
$13.99. And you can't beat it because all the other guys that were building custom carbon fiber handheld gimbals for $1,500, those guys are out the door. Let's talk about another thing, the charger. Charger that comes with the Phantom 3 does dual charging, one for your remote and the other one for your Phantom battery. And it only applies to the Phantom 3 because this charger puts out a higher voltage. So don't mix and match if you think it's gonna work.
It actually fits on my Inspire battery.
It does, but the Inspire battery is much larger, so this will not charge it.
Oh!
So let's look at the specs.
I was thinking I'll get cheap chargers all of a sudden.
See, it only puts out 17.5.
And here's the interesting thing, that the way these batteries works now, after 10 days of not being used, they're going to start discharging themselves.
Yes, they put themselves at storage level so the battery doesn't puff up and go
so it doesn't get ruined.
Exactly.
But this one here, I tested it. If you have to put 24 volts on it, and if you put 24 volts from anything, it will start charging itself. So the charging circuitry is essentially in the battery instead of being in the charger.
Correct. So, and then another thing you do get with your Phantom 3 is your USB cable for your either Android or you know, for the people using Apple, iPhone, or iPad, you have
This
to
is really nice.
Yeah, that's really nice, but that only works with the Android devices. The one for the iPhone or Apple products, you have to use your existing one that charges your phone at home.
And actually, what I
Do you
did,
have one?
I went on eBay, and you should carry these things. And I found a lightning cable that is a little more than 6 inches, and it fits perfect. Because that way I can get it in.
Let's measure it up to this guy. This one seems a little long.
It seems a bit long.
Yeah, it's a bit longer. So, yeah, if you can find something within about 6 inches, it's plenty of
6 to
length.
8 inches
Yeah.
should really work fine to go from the radio, and that way it doesn't snack into anything. Because when you're flying, you really don't want it snacking. What kind of harness are we getting a strap for this thing? Because remember the
let's see
Inspire
what
got this
comes with
really
it.
cool.
I'm not sure it comes with the harness.
It comes with a screwdriver.
It comes with the screwdriver for your propellers. But no, I don't think we get a harness with this one. No harness. That's sad.
Well, the harness we got with the Inspire radio was very professional, and it went around your shoulders, and probably was a bit more than anybody really needed.
Yeah.
And I guess nobody really asked for more harnesses because, obviously, and I gotta tell you, I don't fly with it. I literally fly like this and just hold it. Because the great thing with these radios, and hey, let's take a quick look here. They are identical. Basically, up on the shoulder here, you have the button here is this take a still picture. Down here, you can adjust the shutter speed. And here is playback. So if you push that, and after you're taking a picture, you're going to see what you just got either on your screen or in your goggles. On the other side over here, we have flight modes. So you can have intelligent orientation, HTTI, and GPS. The way I have mine is I have HTTI in the center, and I have GPS on both ways. So if I get this urge to suddenly stop and park in GPS, I just have to hit this little switch, and either way I go, it will definitely be in GPS. So I don't have to remember, but I have to remember that it goes to the middle in order to be back in HTTI, which is what I usually fly in. Up on the shoulder here is a little red button, and that is to start video recording. And finally down here we have the little switch that does the gimbal, that pitches down and pitches up. Now, default, this thing, when you touch it, the gimbal goes whoom. So you may want to go into the software, and that's why you need a tablet. And you can set the gains on this one, and that's the same place you can set how you want you can assign what flight modes you want on the flight mode switch. But you can set this, so now when I move it all the way, it just really slowly moves, so that when I kind of come over something, I just jam this thing whatever way I want, and the gimbal is going to move really slowly, not to make an abrupt move. On the front, and there has to be some difference, because here on the Phantom radio, we don't have the switch. That's for the retracts on the Inspire, but we have the same button here, which is the return to home. So if you're out flying, it's really nice that they made a specific button. Yeah. It's like you don't have to do a switch combination or anything. You just push this button, and the return to home takes over. That's an important button. The way we turn all of these things on, you push this down once and then hold it down, and now it's turned on. The same thing over here on the back of the battery on the Phantom. Let me pick that up a little. Let's show the back of the battery.
Let's just show them how it works.
Yeah, is it powered, do you think?
Yeah.
Let's get it up to the camera. Okay, so the quick there, and then I hold it in. And now you can see everything coming on here. And with that, we've got a camera. It's not quite there yet, but it's all starting up, and the thing is hot. To turn it back on again, we do a short, and then we hold it in for about 2 seconds. And now it's turned back off. So I think that's we've pretty much covered the thing.
That's pretty much it, yeah. If you do get the professional one, you do get the 4K camera. If you get the advanced, you just get the 1080p, which is not bad. A lot of people don't have computers that'll play the 4K.
Where does the camera card go?
The what? The memory card?
Yeah.
The memory card is going to be right over on the front.
Oh, there it is.
Side right here.
And it looks like it came with a memory card.
It comes with one to get started, you know.
Let me hold that up here so we can see that.
Show them that.
Because here's the controller for the gimbal is up here. And they're basically taking the video signal up through the arm of the gimbal. And right in here on the left side of the aircraft is your memory card. They also put in, there's two of these, you'll see a little thing, a plastic thing. It's instead of a zip tie, but in case you were to crash, this is gonna keep the gimbal from coming undone. However, you always wanna make sure you visually inspect these little dampers on the gimbal before you fly to make sure they are all working right. Well, I think we can't forget this has HDMI down.
Exactly.
I mean, this thing actually has high definition video coming down to your tablet. And if you look at the legs out here on both sides, there is 4 antennas this time. And on the radio, we have 2 big monster antennas down here. Because this is basically a long distance Wi-Fi system using 2.4, and is sending data back and forth in 2.4 for controlled PPM system and information back for your OSD and for your video. And that's also through this system that you're controlling the camera. So there's only one link instead of being a video link.
Exactly, yeah. So they do claim with this one that you can get up to 1.5 miles of range.
That's about 2.5 kilometers.
Is that how far you're gonna go?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, I would never go longer. That wouldn't be legal, right?
Well, I guess not, but that's what they say. So, but for those of you long-range freaks, then
now, if I wanted to fly FPV with this, what would I have to do? I mean, I would need a 5.8 transmitter, a flight camera.
Well, yeah, but I mean, this is mainly so you can do aerial photography through your tablet. So I'd most likely not recommend you to add, you know, your Fat Shark goggles or anything like that to this unit. I'd leave it alone, fly it with your Android tablet, your iPad, etc.
It's perfect as it is.
It's perfect as it is. Use it for what it is and nothing more, unless you want it to fly away.
and that's probably very wise words right there. Now, let's before wrapping up here, when this first came out on the internet, there was a hailstorm of pissed off Inspire users.
Yes.
They were basically feeling they got ripped off. We shouldn't have to buy an Inspire. I'm like, come on, nobody made you open your wallet and slide your credit card, really? Do you use gunpoint at people in here?
No, never.
Oh, okay,
Never.
So nobody forced you to buy an Inspire.
They choose their own poison.
Even an Inspire.
Even for the Inspire.
But just to calm down Inspire pilots, it does appear the quality of the Inspire camera that's significantly beefier and quite different. Also has more dynamic range, and you're getting a higher end system. Importantly, my Inspire has been up in 56 miles per hour so far in ATTI. I don't see this thing flying 56 miles an hour.
Yeah, I don't think so. We'd have to try it, but I'm not sure.
Are we gonna try it on this one?
Yeah, let's try it on this one.
This is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
But
another thing is those sensors down here. Sonar.
Oh,
you forgot. Oh, you forgot. You're an Inspire guy.
Well, we can't forget this because this is a really.
This is the whole reason why it's a Phantom 3.
Well, it's also probably the reason why DJI is gonna own the drone market for the next year or so, because they have the drift camera right here that looks down at something on the ground, and you can literally put something, take a carpet, and if you pull the carpet, this thing is going to follow the carpet because it sees the pattern, and that keeps it from drifting. So when you take off, it's never going to start drifting around on you because the camera is keeping it in place. It also has 2 ultrasound transmitters right here, or transmitter probably and a receiver that manages the altitude, so it's not going to start bouncing when you come down close, because this thing knows that it's 5 inches, 6 inches, 4 inches from the ground. It knows exactly when it's on the ground because of these things. That's really brilliant.
It is.
And here's the thing, and I'm really not a DJI fan.
You're not?
I'm not a DJI fan.
So what's up with your Inspire then?
Well, see, here's the thing. At $1,300 for this thing, and at $2,800 for the Inspire, this is a value that's almost impossible to beat.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know how to do it. Here's a gimbal, a very high quality gimbal, with a 4K camera.
4K camera.
That right there would have been $1,000 last year.
Easily.
And then we have a 20-minute aircraft, and we have the drift system.
Can't beat it.
It's unbeatable.
It's unbeatable. Yes.
I mean, so right now, I'm sorry, guys. I would love to recommend something else, but if you have $1,300 and you're going out to look for a quad for aerial photography or aerial video, not for long distance FPV or something else, but for aerial video, it's very hard to beat this deal.
Yeah, you can't really beat it. And if you don't have the 1300, there is also the advanced version, which is only $999, which is just as good if you don't mind not having the 4K.
Well, and I think, talking about that one real quickly, the advanced one, there's several people on the internet right now that feels that, having tested both, that feels the dynamic range of the advanced one is actually better than the dynamic range of the 4K camera.
Yes.
I mean, I hate to hear that, but I can believe it because they obviously have a more tightly wound chip here.
Yeah.
Whereas the sensor, oh, I have to turn off that radio. There, that's my Inspire radio beeping because I haven't touched it for a couple of minutes.
It's getting jealous.
It's getting jealous, it wants attention. But they obviously have a very high performance sensor in here for very little money. And the conspiracy theory is that a lot of people already are feeling that the advanced sensor may in fact have more dynamic range. What that means is the same exposure on the ground, you get a little bit more details in the sky. So I mean,
well,
if you're looking for video, if I was a news outlet, I would test this and find out which one actually looks better in print.
Yeah, well, let's test them out. We have both to test.
Alrighty then.
All right.
Guys, thank you so much for watching us. I'm Bo Lawrenson, the FPV guy, and this is Tony.
Tony with UAVRC. So if you need any products, any questions, you can always...
UAV-RC.com. We're gonna put it on the screen.
Yeah,
here
we'll put
too.
it on. We'll put a link down below for you guys to check out. If you guys have any questions, need any parts, you can always stop by if you're in SoCal, or send us an email.
Awesomeness. Thank you for following us and subscribe for more cool videos about flying gear. So, whoa, do we have a charged battery?
No.
Not yet.
No, not yet.
Let's put that one here for now.
Yeah.
That is really, I mean, that's a hard to beat deal.
It is. It really is. I mean, if you think about it, Light Bridge alone was $1,300. $1,300.
And here is the light bridge.
And here's the Light Bridge.
Grab that Inspire for a second. How big is this?
So, okay, if I do it now, it should work.
So, okay. Well, what this also really means, all this size, the size here, this one can go in a backpack.
Yes.
This one is hard
It's
pressed.
hard to put it in there, yeah.
I mean, so unless you really must have this thing.
Yeah. What do you think of the shell?
Well, we all love to hate the shape of this shell.
Why?
Because it's become kind of drone.
It's
But notice
yeah.
how they got real air vents now? They're obviously having more power going on.
Yeah, they had air vents before. I'm not sure they had that many. But yeah, I think it's all the media, you know, calling it a drone. So anytime you see one of these at your local
Yeah, but
parks,
the funny thing is, if people see a multi-rotor, they think it's a DJI.
they
even if it's not.
most likely assume it's going to be a DJI.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting how keeping this, people think it's a DJI even if it's not.
Even if it's not, yeah.
So you walk your kid into a store and they see one of those, they know it's a drone.
Yeah.
I actually think that's brilliant. And
It's
marketing-wise,
brilliant. Yeah.
know what I mean? They have not changed any of the design. All they do is change the content.
Yeah, that's true.
That's, well, let's go play.
All right.
All right.
But just know it wasn't.